Welcome back to the bubble, ladies and gentlemen, and a replay commentary of a game from Cossacks 3. This is a game I just played recently, and it is the first multiplayer zero peacetime game I played in ever, basically, because I wanted to practice a little bit more with the zero peacetime build. So I thought the best way to practice is to just put it in practice and play a multiplayer game. So that's why I didn't do a recording of it live gameplay, so to speak, because I just figured I would have way too many things on my mind to do a commentary while actually trying to follow the build order and just trying to survive in general. But this is an action-packed episode almost from start to finish, so make sure you stay to watch the whole thing. We can start by going through the different players and the factions that they are going to play. Some of them selected civilizations or countries before the game started. I started on random, so it's going to be interesting to see what everyone picked. Starting off with Pivon in red at the bottom right, playing as Ukraine in red. If we go to player number 2, Islan in blue, playing as the Netherlands, top left. Number 3 is Gioni in bright blue, playing as Prussia, top right. Pretty protected position, I would say. And someone who is not in as... Actually, I'm pretty protected-ish as well. Bottom left in purple and playing as France. So I will actually manage to get a pretty strong faction, even though I selected random. So that's fortunate for me. And in the middle, for whatever reason, the host threw in a hard AI as well in the absolute middle, the most vulnerable position in the game, I would say. Orange playing as Spain, so a pretty fun faction to play, but not a very fun position to start from. So I'm thinking that we can start from my point of view just to see how I'm doing this, and then we can start the game and get going. So when it comes to zero peacetime, you want to start, or the build order that I use, that I've started to practice, is 2 town halls and 1 mill. So you start with dividing your peasants into 2 groups, equal groups, so 9 in each. And one of the groups is going to build the eco part, let's call it that. So start with a mill, storehouse, market. The second group is going to go for a blacksmith, and then right after that, a barrack. And I start producing peasants right away, of course. I'm going to jump to the other players as well. I just want to go through the starting build. So now, when some of them are done with that second group, done with the blacksmith, they can go to the barracks right away. The first one goes straight into the market, and I'm torching the storehouse. I only built it there so I could get it done as quickly as possible so we can start working on the market. The second group who got the barracks has the academy up and running, and now basically what we want to do is get the economy. I will keep sending peasants to build the academy. You want as many as possible. 13 is not really enough, and I think I'm starting to mess up with the micromanaging quite a lot here, because we have a bunch of idle peasants, and what I want now is the diplomatic center. So I do some trading all of my coal for wood, and then 2,000, and then I think 1,000 iron for wood and 2,000 iron for stone, and then you should, and then I want these peasants to start building the marketplace. Now, looking at all the idle time from the peasants, now they're starting to build the diplomatic center, and the other peasants are going to build a second barracks, starting with pikes, because in zero peacetime, it's not really worthwhile to go with the musketeers. You rather want to go with the pikes, so you have units as quickly as possible. So that is basically the start that I went for. I don't like all the idle time from the peasants, but you want the diplomatic center done at almost like 2:30 game time. So I am a little bit slow here on that, but I will start with Cossacks and also with light infantry so that I can okay, it wasn't actually 114, it was more like 14. So I can start getting some fast cavalry out to do some harassment, because capture is on, artillery is on, and it is on. That was my start. Let's look at some other players, starting with Pivon, Ukraine. How are you doing? 2 barracks and 2 town centers, or town halls. Town center is Age of Empires. But starting with the Serdukes. And Ukraine is a strong settlement with peacetime, and if you're able to stay for long game. But with 0 peacetime, they are very, very vulnerable because Serdukes only ranged, of course. They will be very vulnerable to pikemen. So if I would have known that he would have played as Ukraine, I maybe would have seen that in the lobby, but I don't really know where he would be. But if I knew he would be over here, I would have gone with round shears instead of light infantry, because they protect a lot better against the bullets from the Serdukes. But all in all, he's going for the coal mines, got 1 gold mine up. The Serdukes cost gold and iron. He hasn't traded at all. He has the market up and running, but hasn't traded. So that's why his economy is a lot... he could have done some better trading to improve his infrastructure, I guess. And also no academy yet, but 3 barracks at least. A lot of idle peasants as well. Let's go to Tislan and see how he's doing. Top left as the Netherlands. Also 2 barracks. The academy is up and running. The town halls are up, but no diplomatic center yet. And also, if we look at his army composition, he's going for a mix with both pikes and musketeers. And this is not really recommended because you can also see him having to waste resources on upgrading all of the troops. Musketeers, you don't really need to upgrade the defense because that's only melee defense. So you can just upgrading the firepower is good enough for the musketeers. But with the pikes, you want to upgrade both, of course. Go to number 3, Johnny. You're really hugging the corner here. 2 barracks. He's going for pikemen as well. Got the 2 town halls, academy, but no diplomatic center yet. However, he's doing very well with building the mines. I think he's gotten all of the gold mines built. Yes. And almost all of the iron mines now. A little bit behind on coal, but all in all, I would say it looks like he's got a pretty good grasp on the economy. Only 14 peasants active on gold production, though, but that is going to increase rapidly. If we go to the AI, how is the AI handling it? Also going with Cossacks, which are the Spanish pikes, and looks like he's already coming for me for whatever reason. Okay, he actually turned back. But no diplomatic center from the hard AI yet. Point-wise, Johnny is doing the best, followed by Tislan, and then yours truly. I think Johnny is doing very well because he is going for all of the mines, and maybe a lot of the upgrades as well. Both food upgrades, early food upgrades, and also the wood cutting upgrade. So he will be able to start working on stables. It looks like that might be the build he's going for. Still no diplomatic center. But yeah, the first stable is coming down. And I think his economy is going to look very, very well. But if we go down to me, I just wanted to go for early aggression. So I already have a bunch of light infantry. I have some Cossacks, and I have now been able to scout out, I think, that this is where my closest adversary is with a Ukrainian player, the Serdukes. So now looking back, I probably should have gone with the round shears, but I've just full out light infantry, doing my best just to stay in it, basically. I have started to get quite good upgrades on my pikes as well, so they are somewhat strong. We have 2 formations. They are, of course, a bit better in formations, and now I'm able to actually capture some stuff. I took 1 iron mine, which I think they should be able to recapture, but no, the Serdukes actually didn't go there. The Cossacks were still going and capturing the mines, and now, seeing as we can build another civilization, I did take a couple of peasants and started building a town hall here, a Ukrainian town hall in my own base. But now we are just absolutely pushing through the red player Pivon, because now Serdukes, of course, they are very vulnerable to light infantry and pikes, and they are just going to get obliterated. But they do still pack quite a punch. If you go to his point of view, we can see that he has gotten 1 firepower upgrade and a bunch of defensive upgrades, so they are actually somewhat defended against melee damage. But all of the mines except for 1, 2 is captured. Town halls are captured. Blacksmith is captured. Yeah, days are numbered for Pivon. You can see his points are almost down at 0, and when all of the mines are captured, that's basically going to be it for that player. If we can just go ahead and capture the gold mine as well. There we go. So now I think he should be all but done. And like that, I just yep, the red player's gone, and I captured another civilization. That's good for me. If we go to blue, we can see that he has actually sent out a scouting party here with 15 pikemen and 15 musketeers, just trying to find wherever a player is for him to attack. And I am blissfully unaware, because this is my point of view. I have no idea that he's coming from that way. So I'll just keep sending everything to see, okay, who is the player I can take out next, now that I'm kind of on a move with a massed up army and a bunch of sick Cossacks and whatever. So I'm trying to get a good bearing of the map and also see where the next adversary is. And I saw that there's no one over here. There was no one down to the left. I scouted that with sick Cossacks. And now the next one in my head should now be orange, because since it's free-for-all, no peacetime, I thought that everyone would start attacking each other. But now we see the blue is coming in from the bottom left of my map. I was able to see that, so I am going to destroy these mines, because I did not put out any pikes to guard them, unfortunately, which you absolutely need to do when there is no peacetime and capture is on. Always keep guards on your mines. But the pikes are going to get shoot up by light infantry. The musketeers are going to get killed by my sick Cossacks, at least harassed by them. You can just see that the sick Cossacks deal so little damage. They can just swing forever and ever and ever and ever. But at least they keep them occupied until the light infantry and the pikes are able to clear them out. I also splurged out some dragoons from the 18th century just to keep get quick firepower. But they are, of course, very expensive once you train them. 181 gold for one right now, so my gold economy is not doing the best. But I was able to repel that attack at least, and now we can see that, okay, my points are actually doing pretty well. But let's check on my opponents a little bit. We can see that Tislan is starting to set up a palisade, actually pretty smart, because you don't want to get harassed by Cossacks. Still going with a mixed military of musketeers and pikesmen, but cavalry-wise, he's going for reiters. And that, I mean, they do take quite a long time to train, 16 compared to 10, but they are very strong against firepower. So since they are so heavily armored, they can actually soak up quite a lot of the firepower that I provide with basically nothing except mercenary dragoons and some archers. If we look at his defensive stats, let's see, 15 protection against arrows, 40 against cannonballs, 190 against grape shot, and 6 against bullets. So they are a very sturdy unit indeed. Now, what's going on the map now? Let's go over to Johnny and see how he's doing. Don't think he's attacking anyone. He's making round shears. And 17th century dragoons. And still a bit of a mixed batch from the barrack, it looks like. No, now he's only going for musketeers. So now when we are 15 minutes in the game, he's rather going with the 15 PT build order, I would say. And since he hasn't attacked anyone, hasn't been attacked at all, he has been able to just build up the base. He has 3 town halls now, so his economy is also going to look very well. Gotten the first field capacity upgrade and all the food upgrades, harvesting up, field capacity upgrade and wood harvesting upgrade, and also the first stone. So his economy is going to look absolutely beautiful. Smacking down some dwellings to help with the population crisis. Now, I actually decided to test the water against Tislan, and we saw that he hasn't been able to finish his palisade, but I had to run back because I did send my army up there, but in the meantime, the hard AI came down with a scouting party and started attacking my base, so I had to pull away a lot of my peasants, just start sending dragoons and light infantry and pikes just to clear up this army, and just like that, it's done. But we can also see that Tislan is sending a bunch of pikes and musketeers after me to kind of smack me in my nose a little bit, I think, for doing that little raiding or reconnaissance of his base. Now I'm just massing up all of my troops. If we look at the formations that I'm rocking, I have a lot of units not in formation. That is not good, so I will need to start setting up some officers. I am training them, and I also got the second stable. I'm not recruiting from that one because now I'm trying to work with 2 civilizations at the same time, which, if you're able to micromanage well and do several things at once, then that is then that's a great advantage, of course. Double the amount of troops you can get, but also you need to spend more money on upgrades and things like that. But you can get more troops quicker. So now I'm starting to work on this army quantity against quality. I guess we have quality as well, but the light infantry, we have so many of them. We shoot through the pikes, and now only the musketeers left, and they are going to get swiftly cut down by light infantry, pikes, and Sea Cossacks. So that was the end of that army sent by Tislan. His points are also dropping a little bit. Point-wise, I'm doing well, but if we look at Tisloni, for example, how he's doing, you're number 3. He is just, yeah, he keeps building. He's gotten the wood palisade up. Now he's also working with a stone wall. Really just looking at the long game here. Playing defensively, not really attacking anyone, not spending any resources on that, but just rather growing strong, growing strong. That's the Tyrells, I think, from Game of Thrones. But yeah, just taking all the time in the world. Artillery depot and cathedral, so he should very soon be able to go up to the 18th century as well. And then the 18th century musketeers from Prussia are, of course, some of the best in the game. Absolutely disgusting units to face. Keep going back to number 1. But now I'm trying to harass Tislan again. So I'm sending up some mercenary dragoons. The Sea Cossacks are harassing the eastern part of the palisade. Now I'm just moving with everything. Keep in mind that I basically don't have any ranged troops whatsoever. Only pikes, only light infantry, some 17th century dragoons from the stable, but that's basically it. Everything else is just pikes and light infantry. So just quantity over quality for me, but we are actually able to push through pretty well. If we go to my point of view, we can see that orange is coming back with grenadiers, so I need to pull some of my troops back to defend my base and make sure that we clear them out, while simultaneously trying to push here. And I think that I should have an advantage here if you only look here. But keep in mind that we have a bunch of Reiters attacking us in the back, and they will make quick work out of the archers and the light infantry, etc. It's only basically the pikes, I think, actually have some ability to deal damage to them. But we can see that I've also filled up my ranks a bit with Serdukes, who are also, of course, packing firepower up the wazoo. But I don't think we will have the manpower right now to actually attack his base. I did take a bunch of peasants, though, so I could theoretically start building a Dutch civilization in my base as well and just keep massing up troops that way. And now that we are way past the 15-minute peacetime, I should actually have stopped making pikes and gone for musketeers as well, but I just didn't, because I kept focusing on, okay, I need to attack here, I need to build up the Ukrainian settlement, I need to keep building my own settlement, and it was just too many things for me to focus on at the same time, actually, to do this efficiently. So in that sense, maybe it wasn't that good that I just captured more civilizations. I should have just focused on my own for now. We are getting some Ukrainian Sea Cossacks, Serdukes. Fortunately, this base hasn't been attacked yet. It is very, very vulnerable. Only some pikemen has been put out as guards around some mines and some civilian buildings. But now I come with my army because I want to wipe out the threat from the hard player, the AI. Because so far it looks like they have only had eyes for me. I haven't seen them move any units up toward Johnny, but they rather keep sending troops my way. So I rather want to take them out. And I did believe that I dealt a stinging blow to Tislan's base. He is sending some dragoons my way. We did not manage to break the first barracks, but we at least managed to wipe out a lot of his peasants and made a dent in his military. But now we can see that dragoons are coming down, and I can't see them. I do send some Sea Cossacks up to potentially do some harassment, but I can't see the threat that comes here from the mercenary dragoons. Although they are mercenary, they are still very, very capable of dealing damage with their rifles, with their muskets. I keep sending troops in here, and hopefully, I'm hoping that this is going to be enough for me to just wipe out the hard AI. Because, like I said, capture is on, so we only need to focus on capturing all the civilian buildings, all of the mines, kill the peasants, and then they are basically done. But the reinforcements, instead of sending them up, I go to work on the dragoons. And we can see that they are just hard beset on all sides here. Sea Cossacks are coming in as well to deny them. and even more pikes, even more light infantry, and I should have focused on diversifying my army a lot more, and at least going from light infantry to round shears, from pikemen to musketeers, and that is of course very annoying to see now in retrospect. But while playing, like I said, I just had so many things to focus on, and I realized that, so I did not actually build a Spanish settlement with any peasants that I captured here, but rather I just destroy everything that I would come over and just leave it, because the hard AI is gone now. And now we can see that I actually did start a Dutch settlement in my base with the captured peasants from Tislan's base as well. And now this is 3 settlements or 3 factions that I need to keep track on, and I am not good at that at all. So it does provide a massive advantage if you are able to micromanage all of this. And I don't even go for any formations of my troops anymore. I just go full out mass, head-on assault. And how is Johnny doing if we're gonna look at something else? Yep, keep growing strong, going for 18th century barrack. He has 4 stables going for hussars. The Prussian hussars are, I guess, some of the stronger fast cavalry or light cavalry in the game. They are, they have a custom design, so I guess they should be better than anything else. A lot of round shears that's gonna soak up bullets. A lot of 17th century dragoons, and a lot of 17th century musketeers as well. So he just keeps growing strong, and in the meantime, I'm launching another assault on Tislan's base. No formations, just going full out on quantity here. The Reiters came out first. We do have some range now with the Serdukes and also 17th century dragoons and mercenary dragoons, but the Reiters are still very capable, but eventually even they get cut down because the Serdukes have such great firepower. And now we're just plowing through the Reiters, plowing through the pikes, and now the musketeers and pikes are the last thing. So I'm going to send everything I have right now onto Tislan's base, trying to just wipe him out. So it will be me against Dijoni, and then that's going to be it. Hopefully. But at least we're going to keep pushing through here. We do have the numbers. We can see that Tislani can't really keep up with the military production. The Reiters are not coming out fast enough. He has gotten the harness, though, so he does have faster production of Reiters. 16 seconds. I don't think that is including the harness upgrade. But we keep taking everything we can. Keep killing the Reiters. Mines self-implode. But we haven't seen all of their buildings destroyed. Yep, there goes the mines. And very soon we should see these neutral buildings started to go up in flames as well, because I think this is a GG from Tislan. Very soon. Now it's 0. Buildings are still alive. But yeah, since I'm moving away, I'm guessing that he is cooked. He's done for. And now, finally, I've gotten the 18th century and I've gotten the balloon. And now I really need to start thinking about getting 18th century unit, because France get the chasseurs, which are non-bayonet ranged musketeers, which also, of course, means that they get the firepower upgrades, makes them very, very efficient in shooting. We can see that I have no clue of what I'm doing with my economy right now. Keep trying to focus on attacking and building all of my different factions. Have started making 17th century musketeers from the Dutch barracks or Netherlandian barracks. Also working on upgrading their firepower. Still not doing anything here. Man, I'm disappointed at that. I should really go for the musketeers instead of the pikes. Upgrade them so we just maximize the firepower here. And keep going for the freaking light infantry instead of round shears. So annoying watching your replays and just realize all the mistakes you made. I also only have 2 barracks. Sorry, 2 stables. Which, of course, I should be up to 4 by now. But I have a mix of all kinds of different peasants. I have Dutch ones, I have French ones, and I have Ukrainian ones in my base. And that makes it a little bit more difficult as well. Just to keep an eye on all of your peasants and like selecting the right group to start building. But I have a massive army that I'm just going to start moving on to Dijoni's base, just to keep my bearings on what's going on. And if we look at it, I mean, he is just hedgehogging the everlasting bejesus out of his base. Just walls, building towers now as well. Really not going for any aggression except just defense, maximizing the quantity of his army instead of just going for quality. And now, seeing as we're half an hour of game time into the game, I really should have started looking into like pull back a little bit. Of course, it's good to keep get an eye on his base, but I get that now from the balloon. So now when I see what he's building, I should have retreated my army and started to recalibrate it to suit my enemy, basically, or to counter my enemy. He does have a lot of 18th century hussars, which means that I will need to start making more fast cavalry myself. The sick Cossacks from Ukraine is not really enough, but rather I will need to start going for hussars in my own stables as well. And so I have started to do that. I also have an artillery depot, but I haven't gotten any artillery. So that's another thing where I just suck at micromanaging. But like I said, really bad at just keeping an eye on all the things that I need to do. Keep making these lousy light infantrymen. Keep making these pikemen. And 17th century musketeers. So I am getting a big army, but not really necessarily a good one. So now that I see this, I really should have made a tactical withdrawal and just started recalibrating my army. But so far, I haven't. I keep on upgrading my mines, although I have 7 of them that are not populated to their maximum potential, and hopefully I will start seeing that soon and actually start putting some peasants into them. We have 4 gold mines here, for example, that I could put a lot more peasants into, and eventually I will. We can see peasants are starting to move towards the mines, but just goes to show that micromanagement is not my strong suit. Also, I could theoretically start building a lot of the mines here to boost up my economy even more. And now looking back in replay, feels like everything goes so slowly. Like, okay, why didn't I just do this? Why didn't I just do this? Because I was very, very... What can you say? My adrenaline was pretty high, actually. I have wiped out 3 out of 4 players. So I should just have taken a breather right now. I haven't even started recruiting from my 18th century barrack yet. But I'm running between upgrades in all the different factions, just working on recruiting as many troops as possible, just preparing for this assault. But we can see that I have light infantry, pikes, 17th century dragoons. Compare that to round shears, a lot of 18th century hussars, which is going to cut through my dragoons like butter. And of course, 18th century musketeers from Prussia, together with 300 17th century musketeers, which should of course be maxed upgrade. They all even have defensive upgrades to help defend against the light infantry. And if we go to his academy, yeah, firepower upgrades, fire rate upgrade, cheaper muskets. He has just been doing a great job, Johnny, at building up his base and just preparing for the long run, basically. No early aggression, no aggression whatsoever. Just building up his base and building up his army. Now we see even more towers being built as well. Almost 2,500 units. Most of them, or not most of them, but some of them are, of course, peasants. But this army is just going to be so gosh darn strong to face compared to this little rabble of all kinds of different factions, all kinds of different upgrades. Probably a lot fewer upgrades than Johnny has, and also no formations, no artillery, no nothing. Just marching through here. How am I actually doing? Now, I started making grenadiers, which is pretty stupid, but I just wanted to go for assault, like going for the base, and now we can see that his army is actually moving out. And now I didn't realize this, I didn't see this on the minimap until it was basically too late. So he's marching out with his entire army and killing a lot of my troops before I even realized. Now I realize, so I'm just taking everything and moving it towards his base with the sick Cossacks, a lot of like mercenary grenadiers, a lot of light infantry, 17th century dragoons, and in the beginning it looks like I'm actually able to push them back, but that's because we don't see the thousands of round shears yet and 18th century musketeers. The hussars are actually going to be able to collapse my right flank because I only have Serdukes there, who are of course going to get killed very easily by the hussars. If we remove the map here, we can see the whole thing in all of its devastating glory. Now come a formation with pikemen, and even they, I think, should be cut down by the hussars. No, we are actually able to beat them back here. The pikemen are so good against cavalry, so we're able to wipe them out. But now I need to start pulling my army back in order to regroup, because I realized that, okay, I cannot beat this right here. I need to regroup my army. We see a lot of pikemen coming in, a lot of 18th century musketeers as well. My left flank all but collapsed. I do still have some dragoons and Serdukes here in the center, keeping them busy, but of course being cut down to the last man. And now their hussars will be able to just march after me. I destroy these coal mines because they will just be captured. Hussars will be able to chase me down. I'm working on regrouping my army here, just getting everything I can from both diplomatic centers, from the stables, from all the 17th century barracks I can muster. If we open up the map again, I will keep sending reinforcements. Nope, actually, I retreated some of the Ukrainian troops because I saw Hungary or Prussian hussars coming in. They are coming from my right flank, and I think these should be Ukrainian Cossacks, so they should be able to deal a bit better. We also see hussars coming in, and now these units will have a long time getting to my base to be able to reinforce me efficiently. Hussars are coming in to face the light infantry and the pikes. We're able to deal with the first wave pretty well, but we still have this big blob coming in behind, and also hussars coming in, taking the way around my left flank in order to just cut down everything we have on the left side of our base, on the western side of our base. So we are able to hold a little bit over here, but their center is just too gosh darn strong, wiping out my army like it's nothing, basically, because I don't have light infantry. I have nothing to defend against the firepower except for like my pikes. But now they're coming in, taking my mines, and this is it for me. Maybe I could have tried to just rebuild only my Ukrainian settlement, but that will basically just be like, yeah, putting a band-aid on when I lost all my limbs, basically. So that's not really gonna help me, but they keep marching into my base. I started making pikes out of my 18th century barracks just to get more mass out quickly, but it's all over here now. Nothing more for me to do. Serdukes are coming in to help, and they are actually able to kill the hussars here. At least some of them. We should be able to kill them, but then we still have all of this that is left. And Johnny keeps sending more reinforcements, of course. And we can just see on the map that this is all but done. And because of that, I'm calling a GG. Basically, I'm going to destroy my units and destroy my buildings and surrender. It should be any second now. There we go. I'm surrendering, destroying all of my stuff, and calling a GG. And this was a fun game to play. Like I said, my adrenaline was through the roof. It was a bit chaotic because my micromanagement was not up to par, basically. So I could get a big army, but I mean, the quality was not good. And it was just mass, basically. And Gigioni was able to build a well-rounded army that actually defended very well as packing a punch. So that's it. I mean, he was able to just stay unbothered for the longest time. But at least I was able to take out 2 players and an AI before I got absolutely crushed. So it was a fun one. And it was fun to practice the 0PT build on a multiplayer game, or in a multiplayer game. So I hope you enjoyed watching it, and have a great day and take care. I will see you in the next one.